Thank you for that very interesting question. As we all know, since 2 years now, the country and of the whole world has been upside down with the pandemic. So I view that whole system has to reinvent itself in the new context. In an interview which I gave a few weeks ago in Le Mauritius, I clearly indicated that we need to innovate or else we will perish. So I think this would be the way forward. We need to think completely out of the box or even make the box disappear so that we know exactly where we are in the new normal and how we are going to achieve sustainability in terms of economic growth. I think there is a new game going to be played and we would need to readapt ourselves. We have seen that we have gone down in terms of GDP. So we have to bring to word here to bring, I would say, a revitalized economic growth in the country. And indeed, as we are dependent on the global situation, we would need also to partner with international institutions and entities so that we can come out of this critical situation we are currently now. But as I say, I look things philosophically because we were in a pandemic, and I had a very interesting discussion a couple of days ago with Professor Datta from the GII. And what came out clearly is that when we come up with resilient, I would say, features, resilient action, this would go in the right direction for new sustainability. And I will conclude on this one.
Thanks for the question. I think, first of all, we need to have a look clearly at the number of smart cities that we have actually built. And my fear is that we called some projects smart cities, but we didn't necessarily met all the criteria of it being smart. There has been lots of efforts from promoters, from developers to try to put projects together. But if we need to look at it in an objectively critical mindset, we need to agree that there are certain other facets and aspects of it that has not been integrated into the project. And some projects remain quite, I would say, property, real estate development instead of it being a smart city. There has been indeed some use of I would say, smart design, and there has been good use of engineering. And we have moved quite a bit on the smart energy management as well. But there's yet a lot of other things to be done. If you were to ask me on a scale of 100, where are we? On a scale of 10, where are we? I would still say we are at 5 or 10. This is my ballpark rating, because if you look at the current projects, I mean, we're still very much at the stage of infrastructure. We're trying to add some smartness to the infrastructure of the buildings, of building management systems, domotics, IoT, smart energy, saving, etc. But there's yet more to it that we need to add. This is where Industry 4.0 and 5.0 elements, from robotics to AI to deep learning and to other tools that we can add to make life and urban living, as well as the rest of the community, more inclusive and resilient and sustainable. I think we need to be quite strict and to ourselves, quite tough on ourselves if we want to really push through with more resilient and sustainable kind of approach to such type of initiatives.
I think they have the potential to. I don't think at the moment we've got the definitive empirical evidence to say they are. But I certainly think that advanced technologies, whether we're talking about AI, whether we're talking about big data, whatever the technology is, has got the potential, particularly to empower girls and women. I think one of the things I would say around addressing any type of equality is that there has to be a stepping aside and a stepping to allow people to fill places. I mean, I sit before you today as a male head of an organisation, and I feel very proud to be the head of the Director General of UTM. But part of me really wishes it was a woman. So it's that sort of thing that I think, as societally, we have to have some big conversations around what we mean by addressing and redressing inequalities and addressing equality. But another thing that I think will come out, particularly during this period of August, when in many countries, the national examination results are published. And what I always find very interesting is it's seen as a crisis when the girls' results are better than the boys. That's seen as, oh, wow, what are we doing now about the boys? And so sometimes the successes of women are seen as a problem because they're seen as a threat for men. So the use of technology can be a leveler, can be an enabler, but we really need our young women being coached and mentored and empowered in technology, as in all aspects of their lives. I do think that the potential is there, but as I say, we do need more empirical evidence in order to answer your very interesting question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just would like to say that you should come to the session on the 22nd, hearing from our experts. But allow me to just share some of my views on that. I think the urgency in Mauritius is to really address the energy problem. I think that's major. When we talk of climate change, we're talking of increase in the temperature. We're talking of it boils down to looking at what kind of energy policy we have. So in Mauritius, we have a lot of lofty goals. We want to increase our energy mix to from renewable energies to 60%, 50, 60%, but we need a clear strategy, and this cannot be done if we close our eyes on a lot of problems, independent production of electricity. So we need to address all these issues. And to be able to do that, this is where the SDGs come in. It's about partnerships, how we construct that sort of government, industry, and academia partnership. That's, I think, that's essential. That's capital to be able to move, that energy policy forward. So if I were to just think about one thing that we need to do, it's about defining our energy policy. But obviously, there are many other things where Mauritius has done very well. I was reading some time back that, at some stage, I think it was 5-6 years back, we were number 16 in the ranking of countries that would be most severely affected. That is, in the list of countries that were graded, that were ranked as, the top countries where we were facing a lot of risk. But with all the policies that we have put in place in terms of environment, disasters, risk mitigation, and so on, just imagine, in just a few years, we've moved from the 16th place, that is top countries facing risk, to the 52nd place. So that's a huge leap. So it means that if we put our heads together, we can combat problems, we can solve problems. So these are things that I hope we can discuss. And obviously you're all invited to those sessions to get more, and we need to build, you know, the kind of momentum. And this is why journalists are very important. You've got a key role to play there. Thank you very much.
We believe it has to be a collective future game well position, right? As one, we are enough, and we are one, right? So that is, I think. Now, why bring sustainability into the game? I mentioned a few times just now, we are just borrowing what we have now from our children and grandchildren. So, because we are the wave of the same sea, leaf of the same tree, and flower of the same garden, we must emerge from this current inflection point where history has trusted upon us, the leaders, that we got to walk out from the pandemic woods taller than the trees.